Going into the playoffs, I remember enjoying the spectacle that was the Lakers. My optimism was far too high on KD and the Nets. Giannis and the Bucks were looking like they had an extremely good chance to repeat. My Raptors were playing above their ceiling, and the Warriors looked like they finally got their juggernaut back on track. The playoffs ruined almost all my expectations, as well as a few videos and scripts. But I've tremendously enjoyed the emotional roller coaster I've been on. About a month before the playoffs, I carelessly predicted that the Warriors were going to win the title this year, before I had a chance to make a thorough assessment of the teams in the playoffs. Heading into the playoffs, my predictions were as follows. My too early prediction was the Warriors. The team I thought most likely would win were the Bucks. My heart is always with the Raptors. And my dark horse pick were the Nets. Injuries are a pain in the ass and a part of the game. If not, we might have seen the Bucks in the finals or other teams steal a series and drastically change the outcome of the playoffs. In hindsight, I'm not mad at these picks. I always hope and pray that it goes the best way for my Raptors, and they get lucky when it counts to make it to the finals. I had mentally disregarded my Warriors pick and honestly thought that the Bucks were on their way to repeat. So I started writing a script speculating if Giannis was able to repeat. Would that be enough to start discussing what Giannis would still have to accomplish in his career to earn a spot in the GOAT debate? The playoffs proved that that discussion was a little too premature as they got eliminated. I hoped my Raptors would steal a series from the 76ers and leave Embiid in tears again, despite being heavily outmatched. The 76ers played hard, maybe too hard, and in the end, they got the win. But karma found a way to bite them in the ass. I really wanted to make an angry video ranting about this series, but I kept my cool and canned that idea. I predicted that the Raptors would only win one game in the series because the 76ers are bigger, stronger, more experienced, and have a roster with far more stars and superstars. I thought they could have taken it a little easier on my Raps. I didn't think they had to be stepping on ankles and being overly physical in the paint because they could win without it. In the end, Embiid was on the floor in Game 7 during garbage time with a double-digit lead, where he took an elbow to the face that completely derailed their entire playoffs. What is there to say about the Nets that hasn't already been said? This year's biggest failure, and possibly in league history, was the Lakers. But right behind, or arguably next to them, are the Nets. There's no need to beat a dead horse on this one, but yeah, they sucked. I really wanted the Nets to win. Not because I wanted them to retire LeBron. It wasn't due to the hype that a polarizing team cultivates. I really wanted them to win because I believe KD is currently the best player on the planet, and I desperately wanted to see if he had it in him to rise to Jordan's level and carry this team. We have seen flashes here and there from KD, but it's difficult to give what he did with the Warriors much credit when the weight of the entire team wasn't solely on his shoulders. So I really wanted to see him do it for the Nets. It might be time to accept that, as great of a competitor as KD is, he doesn't have the same competitive fire that Jordan had, and will probably never finish his career earning a spot in the GOAT debate. After scrapping all those scripts and ideas, I was left with one last video that I ran a little bit too far with, and may have been a year or two early in the making. GOAT Watch 2022 was a video where I wildly speculate which young players have a shot to become the GOAT one day. Ja Morant, Luka Doncic, Giannis, Devin Booker, and Jason Tatum are players that continue to impress me, and I think they have the potential to accomplish a career that rivals Jordan's. These playoffs made me realize that it is still a bit too early to make this video. I'm in awe when I see Ja Morant and Luka play, but I recognize that they are at the first hurdle that MJ faced at this time in their careers. We have seen they can both play hero ball and take as many possessions as possible and put their team on their back. MJ tried to play this way early in his career, and he realized that he needed a team surrounding him, and more importantly, he needed to inspire them, trust in them, and change his play style to win with the team, not with the team on his back. I hope that the lessons learned in these playoffs will lead these phenomenal players to accomplish greatness, and I'm so excited to witness it. That brings me to the NBA Finals. The Golden State Warriors versus the Boston Celtics. I am not surprised with the Warriors making it to the finals, but I am pleasantly surprised with the Celtics. Despite picking the Warriors, I rooted against them when they played the Grizzlies and the Mavericks. I wanted Ja or Luka to have a miracle run and win it all. That way I could run wild with speculation videos on how they could be the next GOAT. I didn't pick the Celtics to win any of their series, to be honest. I wanted the Nets to win, and then I expected the Bucks to win. And I found myself more excited with Jimmy Butler and the Heat than Jason Tatum and the Celtics. So I found myself on the Heat bandwagon for that series. In hindsight, both teams faced extremely good teams and earned their spot in the finals. Who is going to win it all, though? Jesus Murphy, Jimmy! Looks like you do know who is going to win the 2022 championship. That's a hell of a prediction from Jimmy High Roller. I can't argue with anything Jimmy said in his prediction video, and I'm sort of leaning towards the Celtics after rewatching it. I can't seem to get myself to choose the Celtics, though. I can't get off this idea that the Warriors have been here before, and the lessons learned from the loss to the Cavs and the Raptors is going to be the difference in how they execute their strategy. I then think of how the Celtics are going to contain the Warriors. Who does Marcus Smart neutralize? Does he waste his time chasing stuff around? Do the Celtics put him on an unathletic Clay? Do they put him on Wiggins? Is Marcus Smart going to be a non-factor in this series? Even if he neutralizes one of those three players, the other two can easily carry the team. Draymond Green is a hell of a defender, as well as he runs the pick and roll very well. What do the Celtics do? Do they protect the paint, or do they protect the perimeter? Now, let's give some credit to the Celtics. They play hard and have a solid team. Jason Tatum is a monster, and they have shown they have the grit to play with anyone. I'm scared to see what happens if the Warriors go small and play transition basketball when the Celtics have their big line out. I'm worried that despite Marcus Smart's best efforts, the Warriors will still be able to score easily. By far the scariest factor in this series is Jordan Poole. He has been lights out this season, and odds are he will not have the attention of the Celtics, as they will be more preoccupied by Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond. I don't think the Celtics have built a team that can contend with these Warriors, and for that reason, I picked the Warriors, and to be more precise, I think they do it in 5 games. I'll leave you guys there. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.